Hi everyone, do hope you're doing well. So in this video we're going to be adding weather to it. So in the last 3 episodes we created a playable character that you can walk around with the W, A, S and D keys. So in this episode we're planning on adding weather, so for example rain or fog or thunder. And we are able to do this through the gem assets that we added at the beginning. So that was in part 1 of this RPG series. So let's go ahead and do this. So if we go ahead and create a new entity, so you right click on the entity outliner, create entity, and then we can give it a name. So I'm going to call it rain, because this one will be for rain, and then we can create further ones, fog and thunder and so on. So if we click it, then we head over to the entity inspector on the right here, we click add component. Then if we scroll down to the environment section, we get quite a lot of options. So we're just going to go ahead and do with rain. I'll be talking about these other ones after we've done the rain one. So if we click on rain, we get a range of options here. And you'll also notice that our entity rain is here in the center of the map-ish. Well, not really center, but near where we are. But it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be in the center because it will still apply to the whole map as seen by the radius here. It's set to 10,000 and yeah, that's fine because that will be way bigger than your map. But if it's not, then you can go ahead and adjust it. So you want to make sure that it's enabled, and we can leave those 2 ticks and the bottom one unticked. And then if we click on the drop down next to drops and puddles, and let's just make this a bit bigger. Here we go. So the amount is how much rain is falling from the sky. So let's just, I'll show you once we run it and you'll see what it looks like. But let's go for the drops. Let's just run it like this and I can show you what it looks like. And then we can go ahead and adjust it if we need to. So to run the game, you do Control G and give it a second to load. And as you can see, yeah, that's a lot of rain. And it's not that clear from what I can tell on the screen that it's actually raining. But you know, yeah, it is raining slightly, but it's not that obvious. But the puddles are the main giveaway that it's raining. So let's go ahead and edit this. So let's just exit out. So let's increase the drop amount. Let's add a bit of lightning, and let's increase the puddle amount. So I know this is a way overkill as you're going to see when we run it. So let's increase the rain amount. There you go. Let's run this, and yeah, so you'll see what's happening. So the rain is so thick and there's so much of it coming down that the whole screen has gone white because that is essentially the whole rain. So yeah, you shouldn't want to bring it up that much. So let's just bring that down to 1 again. And let's decrease the amount to back down to 0.5. And the speed we can leave it, let's leave the lightning on 10. And yeah, let's try that if we Control G. So there you go, the rain is more obvious and it doesn't look that realistic as you can tell, but we can go ahead and fix that. But yeah, the puddles seem fine, and yeah, so let's go ahead and fix that. So let's bring the amount in puddles down to, let's bring it down to 0.1. Let's let's see how it looks. Yeah, so the puddles have decreased in amount, but the rain is still heavy. So let's adjust that again. So rain, and then let's bring the amount down to 0.1, and let's see what that looks like. That's still quite a lot. Okay, so the thing that affects the rain, so why it looks like this, is the lightning. So if we exit out of this, go on the rain, and then if we go to lightning, you can see that we've got lightning set to 10. If we bring this down to, let's go 0.5, and then enter, and then you run it, yeah, you can see that there's not much visible rain. However, it is raining still. So let's increase it a bit more. So let's bring it up to, let's try 1, and let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's still not that visible, so I'm going to bring it up a bit more to, let's go 5. I think this is going to be quite a lot. Actually, it's not that bad. It does look all right. But yeah, the puddle amount isn't showing that much. So let's change this to, I'm going to bring it to 2.5 should be a good compromise. And let's set the puddle amount to be 4. And let's see what it looks like. There we go. So the rain looks more realistic, and there are some visible puddles on the floor. So yeah, I'm happy with that for now, but you can go ahead and change the settings to suit your needs. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you the other environment settings that you can choose. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this rain entity, and I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to go ahead and add component, and we're going to do let's do snow. So I'm just going to give the names, entity name snow. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a go with the settings down here. So the radius is how much of like the land surface is taken up by physical snow. So let me just show you. If I set this to, let's go radius of 5, you'll see that it's created a radius of 5 on the map where the entity is in the center. So if we run this, you'll see that, sorry, I don't know why that didn't work. Oh, we didn't enable the snow, oops. If we run this, this section of the radius of 5 has snow inside it with snow particles coming around like this. But let's say we wanted to include the whole map. So if we just set it to a radius of 10,000, and let's just bring the snow amount down to 2, because you'll see why in a second. So if we run this, so there we go. So it actually looks pretty good with the snow particles. I'm actually quite happy with that. So, but I'm going to show you for the purpose of this, the other settings we can do. So the snowflake count, so let's just show you this. If I bring it up to 500 and we run this, it's going to be a lot more violent in the snow falling. So yeah, and the wind scale, how fast it's blowing, the gravity, brightness, snowflake size, all of this you can customize to what you want it to be. And you've also got the frost amount, so that's how the snow looks on the ground with the snow amount. And so yeah, that's the snow effect. Honestly, I feel like we're going to be using this in later on in this series, because honestly it looks quite cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you the few other ones that we can do. By the way, just when we're doing this, I wanted to reinforce what we're trying to, by the end of this, have completed. So essentially, we're going to have a game where it has a menu panel, so like the play button, settings, and so on. We're also going to have it so once you click on the play, it will load with our character, and essentially the character will have to go ahead and accomplish a few missions. And I'll give a few more details on what these like missions will be later on in this video when we start to like properly create the game mechanics. But yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll talk about what each one does. And yeah, so essentially the fog volume will create some fog on the ground. You'll again need to set the radius to how big you want that to be, because it's based again on radius. Infinite ocean, so that's if you wanted to, let's say we had a tropical island and you're standing on the beach, then you want to have an infinite ocean going off into the distance. So it essentially doesn't enable the user to see the boundary of the terrain map, which is good. Let's just see what other ones we have. We've got the lightning, so again that goes with the rain, so lightning in the sky. We've got the rain, which we've talked about. Sky cloud, so that's how many clouds we have in the sky. And we've got sky highlight, so that's like how bright the sun is. We've got the snow, which we've talked about, and we've got the water volume, so this is like lakes, for example. So the one I'm just going to go ahead and talk about now is just the sky clouds. So if we click it, this will be the last one I'm talking about. And then you're going to get a message here saying you need to add the required component. That's fine, just go ahead and click it, and then click on box shape. You'll see in a second what this does. Let's just raise this up. There we go. And then let's set the properties to it. So we get quite a lot of properties with this one. So essentially we get the generate, so that this is like what will generate the clouds, as you can see here, which is quite a lot. But the box shape here is what the clouds will be generated essentially in and around it. So you can move this up into the sky, so you can position the clouds where you want it to. And let's just show up what other settings we have. So we can set the density of the clouds. I'd have to go ahead and click generate for it to update. We can set the fade distance, so how it looks and how it moves. So we can set it to be auto move, which is quite cool. So it will move slowly across the sky like actual clouds will. We can set how much of the clouds, like how many clouds are generated. And Yeah, so we can set, there's quite a few options which you can just go ahead and play around with. But yeah, so and then you can drag this up into the sky to set the clouds to what you want it to be. But yeah, this is the end of this tutorial, and hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe, leave a like, and yeah, oh, by the way, we've got a Discord server if you want to ask any questions or you just want to join. I will leave a link for this in the description. That's the end, and thank you very much. Bye bye.